All right. Good morning. Welcome to EMP, the Eternally Minded podcast. And we don't know what we're going to say. Because we are eternally minded, which means we're not focused on what we're going to say. We're only focused in the present. We're focused in this moment. We're not thinking, we're not planning, we're not preparing. We're just being. We're living. We are always eternal. We are eternal beings in this state right now. We will continue to live. It's the body that dies. It's the body that stays in this world, and we transcend to the next, which we have no idea what that is or it's going to be like. We can't even begin to comprehend the spirit. And that's why I believe that Jesus said, you'll hit that light for me. That's called my key light. It only just feels a little more, I think it just feels a little more directional. The lighting in here is really bad. I don't want to say it's really bad. It's really bright. It's not probably the best for this sort of studio podcast type of a thing, but this is my art studio and I need it really bright in here so I can see the work and see what I'm doing. And once we start filming, it just makes it difficult because, you know, having a bright piece that you can see and work on is not good for film or for video because it makes everything look flat, and pottery is three-dimensional. So you want to be able to see the form, which means you need more shadows, which means it's hard to work on something in a shadow. But anyways, there's always room for improvements in life. There's always room for upgrades. You just got to keep going with what you have and be present with where you're at, be it your circumstances or yourself, where you are in life. You're never going to be perfect. You're not going to obtain to a level of perfection that the world offers, because in this world you can always make something better, and maybe also in the next, but perfection is a state of being. It's not I could have said this better, or I could buy better looking clothes, or I could have the lighting and the audio better. Perfection is it's a state of just of being. And I think that everyone out there is trying to find, well, I'll say everyone, but I think that a lot of people out there are trying to find this state of perfection. When you look at a lot of the New Age spiritualists, and maybe it's not a New Age thing, but I think I just picked up some glass in my hand. In this studio, there's glass everywhere. But anyways, spiritualists who are always looking for this place of perfect harmony and resonance with nature. They use rocks and tones and sounds and alignments. But there's this constant desire for this perfect balance and oneness. But where I believe they fall short is that they're trying to find this perfect balance and connection with an age or an earth age that is in dissonance and in entropy, and we're trying to be balanced with something that's dying. When when we were in the garden, there was a perfect resonance. But when mankind sinned, then what happened was that sin brought death, that sin brought dissonance into God's creation and just started, rotting it away. And so we are now, however much time since that point, we are now at this place where everything just seems to be falling apart, and everybody wants to be in, or not everybody, but there's a lot of people that are trying to find this peace and balance and perfect resonance with nature, with natural things. And I just want to say, like, it's not going to happen. You're not going to find peace in nature. You're not going to find peace, sitting around thinking that you're in resonance or you're aligning with the earth or grounding or rocks or tones or sounds. Like you cannot be in resonance with the earth. The only place that we're looking for, or the place where we find resonance, is in God's kingdom, in God's presence. God is the source of perfection, of perfect resonance and harmony. And the closer we draw to the Lord, that's where we find peace and harmony and resonance with our Creator. But the thing is we can't have that in this age, in this earth, within even our flesh. We can have it within our spirit. We can be at peace and have joy and love in our spirit. But he doesn't tell us that we get those. We don't get that with this perfection in life in your flesh. Our flesh is hurting all day long. We are dying. Our flesh is dying continually. It's oxidizing. It's like we are being killed at the very least by oxygen very slowly. And so we're all aging and we're all falling apart. And there's a point in life where you start to realize that more and more and more. And you can't reverse that. If you're growing older and you pass through that 40 milestone, and all of a sudden, your eyes start shifting on you, and your weight starts shifting on you, your metabolism starts changing, and all of a sudden, you're in a mad dash race to what? Become more in line with nature, to be more in resonance. And it's like, when you're in pain is not harmony and resonance. Like, your body is screaming at you. This natural process of living and dying, it's so loud. And that's why it's important to recognize the differences between our flesh and our mind and our spirit, because you can't have peace when your flesh is screaming at you. You can't have peace when your mind is just always noise and loud. But you can still have peace in your spirit, because your spirit is connected to the Creator, to our Father. And you can have peace. It says, "Lo, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil." So here yet, David was speaking of a peace even though he was in this place as dark as death. And so, be it in our flesh, be it in our mind, that's where we find peace. That's where we find harmony and resonance with God. And that's a peace that transcends all understanding. It's that even when you're going through the worst trial, you still have a creator, a God that loves you because he created you and he's with you, and he's the one that gives you that peace and that resonance. And so he's the one that we honor, that we glorify, because even though our flesh is failing, even though our minds are struggling, we live in a world that is constantly killing us. You might sit in peace in a moment and think, just because your body is quiet and your mind is quiet, that you're having peace. But all that goes away once the kids start screaming. That all goes away when you all of a sudden you get hungry. Like every time you get hungry, you are no longer at peace. And so to try to search for that, it's impossible. And that's why we have to realize that peace is not found being connected to the earth. Peace is found being connected to our Creator, to our God. And that peace transcends this age, this world, this dimension, whatever you want to call it. And it transcends into his kingdom, his reality. And that's where we're all headed. We're all headed through the veil. And some are trying to get there other ways. Some are dying to get there sooner. But the best thing to do is to connect yourself to the Lord, to seek out your Creator, and just to say, I want to be at peace with your plan for my life. I don't know what that is, and I don't know how to obtain it, and I don't know how to find it, but I want to connect myself to you. And if I don't know how to connect myself to you, then I'm just going to start glorifying you for who you are and say, Lord, I just thank you for this life, for this opportunity to be here, to have this experience. And I want to know you. I want you to reveal yourself to me. Come and meet me. I desire this. And then you just start praying that prayer. You give your Creator the permission to come find you. He's the one looking for the lost coin. He's the one looking for the lost sheep. If you feel lost, you don't have to look for him. All you have to do is just know that you're valuable to him and say, Lord, come find me. Lord, come find me. I'm lost in the dark. I don't know where I'm going. I'm not at peace. My body is failing me. My mind is absolutely corrupt. I have the worst thoughts you could possibly imagine. And I couldn't tell anyone. My whole body and my whole mind are against me. Well, how can your mind be against you if it's who you are? It's because it's not who you are. Your spirit is who you are. And your mind is what bridges the gap between this world and the flesh and the spirit that God's given you, your life. And so your mind and your body can be against you. And you can call out to God and say, my Father, my Creator, however you theme it. Say, I don't care how you theme your worldview, but just cry out and just say, I want to be found. I want to know who my Creator is. You're not created by accident. You're not molecules in motion. You have a choice. And your Creator knows that choice. So, there is peace, but it's not going to be found in your flesh. It's not going to be found in your mind. The peace of God resides in your spirit. These are spiritual gifts They reside in your spirit, and it surpasses understanding. So, encouragement for the day. I'm going to do a quick reading, and we're going to get some work done. We got today it's Thursday and Friday, and Leela and I have been discussing moving our operation to TikTok. I don't know what that'll look like, but we're just trying to plan out the logistics. And yeah, I think that I think TikTok may offer us the ability. I think they're going to offer. I think they offer the tools that we need most. So we seem to be researching it and studying it and looking into it. And there's far more discussion. There's far more reach. The tools available for commerce and for selling. The shop and the auctions, all of that. I think they do. So we've been building this we've been building our ability to share and to be present and to share fearlessly. We've been working on that for a number of years, but we've really been diving into the lives and sharing for a number of months now. And maybe that's not enough to get some good traction, but we just think that TikTok may be, just the easiest, one-stop shop. One-stop shop TikTok. All right, y'all. We have a lot to do. John introduces his followers to Jesus. All right. The next day, John was there again and had two of his followers with him. He saw Jesus walking by and said, "Look, the Lamb of God." The two followers heard him say this, and so they followed Jesus. And Jesus turned and saw the two men following him, and he asked, "What do you want?" And they said, "Rabbi, where are you staying?" And he answered, "Come with me, and you will see." So the two men went with him. They saw the place where he was staying, and they stayed there with him that day. It was about 4:00. These men followed Jesus after they had heard about him from John. One of them was Andrew, the brother of Simon Peter. The first thing Andrew did was to go and find his brother Simon. Andrew said to him, "We have found the Messiah," which means Christ, the anointed one. And Andrew brought Simon to Jesus, and Jesus looked at him and said, "You are Simon, the son of John. You will be called Cephas," which means Peter. The next day, Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He met Philip and said to him, "Follow me." Philip was from the town of Bethsaida, the same as Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and told him, "We have found the man that Moses wrote about in the law. The prophets wrote about him also. He is Jesus, the son of Joseph. He is from Nazareth." But Nathanael said to Philip, "Nazareth? Can anything good come from Nazareth?" Philip answered, "Come and see." Jesus saw Nathanael coming toward him and said, "This man coming is a true Israelite, one you can trust." Nathanael asked, "How do you know me?" And Jesus answered, "I saw you when you were under the fig tree, before Philip told you about me." Then Nathanael said, Teacher, you are the Son of God. You are the King of Israel. And Jesus said to him, Do you believe this just because I said I saw you under the fig tree? You will see much greater things than that. And then he said, Believe me when I say to you that you will see heaven open. You will all see heaven open. You will see angels of God coming and going onto the Son of Man. All right. Thank y'all. Bless y'all. Take care. And we're going to switch tracks for now and start getting into some work. We've got some pottery to make. All right. Take care. God bless.